Okay guys, I started working on a new project and I really haven't taken any videos, so I decided to do this now because I already started cutting. Okay, if you remember, I did this last I think it was last year. I don't think it has a complete 12 months of use, and the plastic, it's, I don't know, it came out okay. It just, I don't know, maybe I'm just too fucking anal. I just didn't like it. It didn't come out good enough for me to say, wow, I did a job. It didn't really did a good job there. It was just a cheaper way to do it. But I talked to this guy that he does fiberglass, and we're gonna do something different. I already took off all the gauges on this side, and the idea is to build a console here. So I did a design on my computer, and I want you guys' opinions on which way to go. Now this one, it's going to be for the radar and the navigation. Instead of having that rotating bracket and, you know, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. The same thing with the navigation and fish finder. It was just a hassle for me, and the cables were getting, the antenna cable was getting damaged, and I said, you know, I need something fixed, position fixed on a console. So I came up with this idea. I'm going to relocate the gauges, and by the way, this is on scale. I'm going to relocate some of the gauges from this dash. So these two RPM gauges are going to be right under the navigation. The fuel meter, this one here, it's going to be right in front of me so I can see what I'm doing. Sometimes I hit the gas and I don't even glance at this thing. This tells me if I'm burning a lot of fuel. I'm going to have the temperature right in front of me, the gas gauges, and then the clocks are going to be on the dash. They're there now, but they're going to be moved down a little bit more. So I'm going to have like a rounded gauge area. Then I'm going to have the horn, and I'm going to put an anchor switch here. I don't have one. I'm going to put an anchor switch there. And then on these gauges, which is going to be the 3 battery banks, that's the left engine, right engine, and the house, and then the oil is going to be up here. So I distributed all the gauges around. So temperature, it's going to go to the new dash. Oil's going to stay. Voltage is going to stay. This one is going to stay, and the one that's for the house in the center there, I'm going to put that in the top, and then these two are going to move like I said before. I'm getting rid of this button, and I'm getting rid of this dash. This is an automotive thing. I'm going to get rid of that. I want to get rid of these two light switches, and in this space I'm going to have, I already bought it, I'm going to have this system that's going to have all the pertinent switches here. It's got a USB charging port and a 12 volt. I have a 12 volt here. I want to get rid of that, and I'm considering either putting, this is a separate panel that comes off, either put it there, which is this is a little big. This is a little big. This is 5. This is 4.5. So it's going to be sticking out. I'm going to have to put it here, like this, and it'll be all lit up in red. The gauges are going to be lit up in red also. And some of the switches over there are going to be transferred to this panel. So what I need you to help me make a decision is I have 3 different layouts for the center panel. the center console, I mean. So it's gonna be number 1, the one that's flat on both sides. No, I think it's got a little curve on top, and it's got a slight curve here. Okay, number 2, it's similar to the one I had before, just a little bit different. That one's got sharp corners, and and the ignition switches are going to stay there also, and the transmission light that goes on, it's going to be there also. On this drawing, I have it placed on the sides of the RPM, one for the left, one for the right, one for the left. Okay, going back to the center console, so that's number 1 with the corner curved, number 2, or number 3. Let me give you an overall view. So this is number 3, and I also have, because I've been playing back and forth different ideas, I had this also that it's a little more where is it? Yeah, this one here was curved, but I was told that this is kind of old-fashioned. They don't use that anymore, to kind of like too much roundiness here. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do number, let me see, number 1, and the wife likes it, and I said okay, but I want you guys' opinion. This is still up in the air. The main console, it's already being worked on. It's already shaped. Fiberglass work is done. The only thing left is to place it on top of that, this existing, and then adjust it. And then if I like the way it sits, because we have to give it the right angle, I don't want it flat out. So I measured from the steering, I measured back 5.5 inches. It's going to have a slight angle. It can't follow this angle. This angle is very steep. It'll hit the canvas. So it's going to go and then up a little bit at an angle. So number 1, number 2, number 3. And let's see which one you think it's gonna look the better one. So right now I started cutting, let me get this out of here. I started cutting this plastic, and I found another way of cutting this, which was a lot simpler than the way I was doing it before. I'm doing it with this tool. I don't know exactly what you call this tool. It doesn't rotate the blade, it just vibrates it, I guess, and it cuts pretty good. Let me show you. Noisy as hell. All right, I'm not gonna do the whole thing because it's noisy as hell. So right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting this piece. I don't want to take off all the gauges because it's going to be a mess of wires, and then who knows what goes where. I just removed these 2. I'm going to remove this piece here. Yeah, it's already broken off, and then I'm going to cut the wood underneath. We're going to plug all these holes, and then when we place the dash here, it's going to stick out about 1 inch. Actually, it's 3/4 of an inch from this side, and it's going to kind of fold down and mold. The fiberglass material is going to come here and grab this, and then grab the front. We're going to peel this off, and then I got to cut, you see this mark in here, we got to cut that opening so we can attach the radar and the navigation unit, and screw it on from the back, and have it tight in position. So it's quite a job. There's another drawing of the unit. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll continue this with fresher batteries on the next one.